Hey, friends! This time we're looking at a TV movie. Probably a pilot for a failed series called Earth 2. Not to be confused with the TV series of the same name from 1994. I kinda like that show. But this Earth 2 was made in 1971 and follows the adventures of a utopian space station. Our story goes like this. It's the future, and a Saturn V rocket is about to lift off on a special mission. A no-good spy tries to stop it, but he's dealt with handily by the US Coast Guard. Anyway, this mission was launched with a special purpose. This rocket is to be the vanguard of a proposed new space station, one that will become a completely independent nation. The President of the United States is backing this plan for good and noble reasons. But before it can go ahead, first, the people of the United States must vote on whether or not to go forward with this altruistic endeavor. And how do they do that? A national referendum on Election Day? No. Instead of something sensible like that, here the president asks the American people to turn on their lights at an appointed time, and if the luminosity is bright enough, it will signal America's willingness to proceed. Anyway, not giving anything away here, the plan passes. Flash forward some 10 years and Earth 2 is now a reality. The space station is an independent nation in its own right, and they gain membership in the United Nations and everything. The idea is to do things differently and try something new. A society based on utopian ideals. On Earth 2, the whole population votes on major issues, and all guns, even toy ones, are banned. Utopia? More like Utopia. Am I right? The citizens are all happy with this setup except for this guy. Although he worked on the Earth 2 initiative to get it going, he was against the project and the way they want to do things. He moves his family to Earth 2 to try and change things from the inside. To his credit, he's totally open about it. Anyway, one day, Red China is having a spat with Russia and launches a multi-warhead nuke and parks it in orbit right over the Ruskies' heads. So Earth 2 now has to decide whether or not to interfere by removing or disarming the bombs. Will Earth 2 be true to its ideals? Will the station be destroyed by the nukes? And what about these cows? This movie is dopey as all hell. In our cast, we have Garry Lockwood as one of the leaders. He sleepwalks his way through this one, and Earth 2 was definitely a come down for him from the heights of 2001: A Space Odyssey. Anthony Franciosa plays the rebel who wants to do things the old-fashioned way. Liked him, he was good in this. Not his glasses though, they look dumb. Mariette Hartley from Star Trek and those Polaroid commercials with James Garner, she plays the wife of the upstart. Lou Ayres plays the president. Starred in the World War I epic All Quiet on the Western Front. Ayres was a pacifist in real life, so no doubt this role appealed to him. Inga Swenson is the wife of one of the astronauts, and stalwart character actor Gary Merril is here as one of the station leaders. James Hong and Soon Taek-oh also appear as Chinese diplomats. And composer Lalo Schifrin does what he can to liven things up with his score. The effects are pretty weak, to be sure. There's lots of visible wires and bad matte shots, and the sets are sort of bland. Some are okay, but this is their control room, this weird, small, semicircular room. Like most of this picture, it's lacking a wow factor. It'd be okay for some technical area or computer core or whatever, but this is their main control room. Okay, it has a coffee dispenser, but still. Look at that stool there. Looks like the stools from my high school science lab. Hardly futuristic. But stupidity seems to be the order of the day in this one, and not just the utopian philosophy. Like this spy, he's trying to bring down a Saturn V rocket from a distance using a standard rifle. And look at this, he needs to steady his rifle, so what's he got? This inflatable raft, which bobs around all over the place in the water. No way the guy would get a steady shot. Then the rebellious guy challenges Garry Lockwood's leadership by calling for TNT. No, not a roleplay night. This is a debate and decide. A utopian way of discussing an issue, then voting on it. This is supposed to be a big dramatic thing, but it's as dull as dishwater. And look at this. The computer, I guess, puts these graphics on the screen to indicate factual information or emotional appeals or whatever during the televised discussion. Who decides what goes on the screen, or what's factual, or what type of an appeal it is? Is it the computer or somebody else? Don't know. And Mariette Hartley is given a thankless blonde moment in the movie. Although she's seen as a professional and pretty smart through most of this, she stupidly thinks just throwing something out the airlock will send it into the sun from Earth orbit. Like, she figures that would just work somehow because the door is pointing at the sun. Like literally, that's her excuse. Who trains these people? And the whole story revolves around the threat this bomb poses, right? But even if Earth 2 can disarm the bomb or remove it from orbit, it doesn't matter in the end, because there's nothing whatsoever to stop the Chinese from launching another one. They have more than one nuke, you know. I'll give Earth 2 this. The design of the space station and the shuttles are at least different, but that doesn't make up for all the faults on display in this utopian exercise. Kind of a letdown from Tom Gries, the guy who directed Will Penny and Helter Skelter. I'm giving Earth 2 a half-hearted due pause. The cast is good, even if the material they're trying to work with isn't. They're making an effort anyway. But the whole thing is pretty dumb. The direction is flat at best, and the utopian take on space just comes off like the filmmakers spent too little time on the ideas and too much time smoking dope. You take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.